You see my candle?
What's that now?
You like my candle?
I can't see it.
Daddy, you can't see
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the one we got in Sedona, right?
Yeah. You know that it came with burning instructions. I didn't look at them, and so it's kind of it's burning kind of retarded, but we're gonna make it work. Gonna make it work. Burning instructions. I didn't look at them, and so it's kind of
hold on. I'm messing up something here. Hold on. Okay, say something again.
Something again.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
So I'm getting that.
Are you getting feedback or? I think you just muted your mic. What up, Rob? Good to see you. I still can't hear you, Dad. Okay, y'all help us out with the tech. Y'all know how this go. Let me know if y'all can hear everybody. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out which one to mute.
YouTube.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so you can still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I think I figured it out now. I got to turn my computer speakers up. Okay. All right. So we got you. You got me.
I think we on.
Yeah. Oh, we on. We live. Everybody, we live. We live and in charge now.
All right.
What's up, family?
Hey, guys. Hey, KCL fam.
What's happening? So yeah. So we're trying to get the tech stuff worked out here, guys. So y'all bear with us.
Michael Peaks. Hey, Michael. Glad you could make it. Always happy to have your energy present. The Law. Martha.
All right. Okay, I'm posting the link to Facebook. So I think I'm posting it.
Okay.
It's taking its own sweet time. Okay, it'll get there when you get there. All right. Fort Law's in the house. Rob the Creator. What's up? My moderators are here. Michael Peaks. What's happening? Aisha, hello from the Dominica. All right. I got to get to the Dominica, man. What's up, Judy Smith Randall?
Hey, Ruben. Hey, Judy.
Ruben is in the house. All right. Anisha is in the house. All right. Good to see everybody. So we're gonna have a good, rousing, informative live tonight.
Yes, most definitely.
Eugene, what's up? All right. Let's see. Gina 111, good evening. Good to see some of the regulars here. Good to see you guys. Yeah. So good to see everybody. All right. Jamil, what's that? Jamilby? Okay, you're giving me a tongue tied trying to say that one.
Jamil.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
I think you got close. So we good. Shauna A, what's happening? So we'll give it a couple of minutes, guys. We'll get everybody here because since I had my technical difficulties, so we'll get everybody going here. So what's up, everybody? All right, we got 53 watching. Now we got 18 likes. Come on, guys, help us out. Help us out. Get YouTube, get that algorithm up. Let me make sure I got my technology turned down here. Okay, yeah, my phone's turned down.
Oh,
so
good
I'm
idea.
good.
Let me do the same.
So no disturbances. None of that. Santana Parker from Memphis, Tennessee. Good to have you. And that's Ovi Ojo from Nigeria. What's up? What's up? All the way from the motherland. Good to have you here.
Hey.
And Judy Smith says, how was your trip, Voche?
My trip was amazing. I got to visit the pyramids of Chichen Itza. So if you know, if you're aware of the pyramids in the Yucatan Peninsula, I got to go visit the ancient Mayan ruins. And that was the one thing I really, really wanted to do while I was there, as well as visit a cenote. I got to visit a cenote, which is literally they in the Yucatan Peninsula, they have underground aquifers, which my dad informed me of what an aquifer was, where it's like the sweetest, clearest, most tastiest water that runs underneath the entire peninsula. And with that, they have lots of cenotes, which are little swimming holes or natural swimming holes inland that you can swim in. And the one that I went to was actually in this cave. Okay, so it literally was like this sphere. It's like this bubble in the middle of the earth, and with just the clearest, most tastiest water you could ever imagine. And I had no clue how I got there, but Dad told me aquifers, or it's like a channel underneath, and the water.
Yeah, it's water that like filters, rainwater basically, that filters through the earth and the limestone. So usually it's like the rock is like a limestone formation, and the water just filters down through it from rainwater and stuff. And it can be there for hundreds of years. I mean, man, San Antonio in Texas sits on top of an aquifer.
Yeah, it was amazing. So magical. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm Vo Vibes on all platforms, and I posted pictures on there. So feel free, if you're interested in looking at pictures from my trip, to follow me on Instagram. What else did I do?
And where did you go? You went to Tulum, right?
Yeah, I went to Tulum. So I visited Tulum.
Yeah,
I stayed there for a whole month, me and my dog, and it was very transformational. I don't know about you guys, but I really get a lot out of solitude, and I'm really able to just, sort through everything without any outside interferences, outside energy, and I definitely made the most of it. So my trip was amazing. Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Martha, the picture she has is going to be on Instagram. So at Vo Vibes.
Yeah, I'm Vo Vibes.
Vo Vibes on Instagram.
Yeah, Vo Vibes on YouTube, Vo Vibes on Instagram, Twitter. I don't really get on there, but maybe one day, who knows?
Right. No, so all those things be running together after a while.
They do.
And if anybody's, I'm Kuakaru at Kuakaru on Instagram. So if you want to connect with me on there, and on Facebook, I'm Reginald Kuakaru on Facebook, so y'all can connect with me on those two places. But also, I if I go somewhere, I post trips and stuff too. So I'll post pictures of it and just different things. So get people kind of in the mood of the ideas and the things that they can do too.
Yeah.
So people seem to appreciate it. So that's pretty cool. So Teresa is here. Teresa Beverly, what's up? Matt McFly. All right, guys. I guess we'll get rocking and rolling here. So I am Reginald Kuakaru, and we are going to be talking. So we're going to have a really good conversation tonight. And so it's going to be on understanding your North Node and why bad things happen to good people. And this is going to be really getting into the contrast of what we have and what we happen to ourselves, what happens in our lives. Because a lot of times life can beat us up, and if you take a victim's perspective through life, you will not learn, and you're going to be doomed to repeat your lessons over and over, because you'll be looking to blame something out there.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
And it doesn't work that way. So Love JJ's in the house. Good to have you, Love JJ, and Dark Goddess. So my two other moderators are here. Appreciate you. Zuri's in the house. Good to have you, Zuri. All right. And Courtney, the SLP is here. Good to have you. Good to have you. Good to see some of the regulars and some of the family.
Maria, my girl. Thank you. Already popping it off with the donation. Much love, girl.
Dulce Maria. Thank you, Dulce Maria. Dulce Maria is always so generous. Always. Appreciate it. So definitely appreciate it. So Voche, so let's go ahead and so let's get into the festivities, or should we say the conversation. And as always, high vibes here, guys. We keep it positive. So positive and uplifting. That's what it's about at KCL always, because it is through high vibrational energy that you transform, and you transform to the highest vision of yourself. All right. So Voche, so talk to us. So let's go ahead and get going where you want to go with this.
Yeah, I thought this would be a perfect segue following Zuri's live the week before last, in terms of how to turn your pain into your power after losing a loved one, because she was able to turn adversity and what could be perceived as tragedy into a personal transformation and thrive in the face of adversity and contrast. And I admire her strength and her courage, because in life, we're always faced with contrast. And I feel like people who are just starting their spiritual journey think that, if you're high vibrating, if, you think positive and speak positive, that you'll never experience challenges or you'll never come into contrast. But when we stop coming in face with contrast, that is when we are not growing. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about is how to thrive in the face of contrast, how to thrive when presented with adversity, and how that ties into your North Node. Okay, so I've spoken on the North Node a couple times, but what your North Node is in astrology is the energy that we are learning, or this is how we push ourselves out of our comfort zone in order to achieve expansion in this existence, in this lifetime. Okay, so our North Node tells us what we are heading toward, and our South Node tells us what we are used to, the energy that we are coming away from, and learning how to integrate in a more balanced way along with our North Node. Okay, and in doing readings, when I read for people, 9 times out of 10, people know what their challenges are. They know where they're headed. It's just that fear of jumping out of your comfort zone into the unknown and braving the unknown in order to accomplish and achieve the fulfillment and the dreams that we all desire. Okay, we all have dreams. We are all here with purpose. And oftentimes, in order to achieve that purpose, we have to do the thing that scares us the most. We have to do the thing that makes us, kind of cringe. And it's like, I want it, but am I willing to do that to get it? Okay. So what I wanted to talk about is how to take a more empowered perspective when you are facing contrast, when you are faced with stepping out of your comfort zone. So,
and Voice, can I jump in there?
Please,
quick.
Perfect time.
So just to offer also just from the comedic perspective, when we're talking about contrast, we're talking about polarity. Mm-hmm. Okay, and with polarity, there is no experience without polarity. Okay, and what I mean by that is, it's like you cannot experience cold without hot. Mm-hmm. Okay, so in life, you cannot experience the ups unless you understand something that was down, or you went through something and been down. So there's always going to be that contrast and polarity. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we take that woe is me attitude with the things that we don't like. When life beats us up, we'll get down and take a woe is me attitude. But there's definitely a more power perspective to look at that from. So it shouldn't be woe is me. It should be like, what do I learn from this?
Right. And that is a perfect way to say that, because if you look back at any challenging situation that you've had in your life, any trauma, any pain, anything that really had you in a low vibration, if you look back at that situation and ask yourself, what did I learn from this? How did it make me stronger? How did it make me grow? And if you can take an account or an inventory of all your trauma and all your pain and find the lesson in it, it gives you more confidence when adversity comes up in the future. Okay. Yes. It's like, okay, I made it through that. I grew through that. This, I can handle this too. Okay. Or yes. This too shall pass. Okay. But instead of just thinking I'm gonna get through it, or, I'm gonna just grit and bear it, think, how can I maximize this? How can I really come out on top? How can I make this pain my bitch? Or, for lack of better terms, you want to really like charge toward it. Okay. And an analogy that I know you can relate to, Dad, is I used to play Division I basketball, and we had what's called a strength and conditioning coach. Okay. Literally conditioning our bodies to withstand pain and exhaustion so that when we do hit that wall, we've already hit that wall in practice. So when we come to that wall in the game, we know how to find that second, third, fourth wind and push past it and be like, no, this ain't it. I got some more. Okay. Because I remember we would have to wake up at 4:30 a.m. to work out at 5 a.m. And already that is a mental challenge, because who wants to get up that early and you're about to be physically tested and pushed to your limits. Okay. So you already walking into it knowing you finna get your ass kicked this morning. Okay. So you're already preparing, like, okay, I know it's gonna hurt, but I know I can get through it. I know I can get through it. Okay. Life is a mental game. Okay. So in that, we would have to run sprints. Okay. Now, we had one coach who he would never tell us how many sprints we had to run. We didn't know the number. All we knew was, okay, you got 3 seconds of rest. And when we say go, your foot better be on the line and you better be ready to run. Okay. So we would have to run, what 24s are, Dad, where you had to run the length of the court down and back in 24 seconds?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with 24s?
Yeah, okay. We didn't necessarily call them 24s, but I know what you're talking about. 24. You had to get down and back within 24 seconds.
And if one person on the team does not make it, everyone has to run that rep over, right? So collectively, we had to be strong. So saying that to say, we might have had to run 30 24s, but we had no clue what the end looked like. We are literally facing the unknown. All we know that's in front of us is pain, suffering, okay, possible puking. Somebody might faint, but we're going to have to pick them up and tell her to get her ass back on the line because we got this sprint to run, okay?
Right.
So saying that to say, basketball really taught me how to push past not only my physical limits, but my mental limits. And I remember after that 30th 24, feeling like, no, let's say after the 5th 24, I'm like, I'm gonna die. This is literally it. I see the man, I see the light right there, but I gotta get on this line. And I remember having finished a set of 30 24s and being like, I can't believe I just made it through that. I can't believe I just survived that. And after surviving what felt like the worst, after literally feeling like my legs, I don't know how I'm gonna run this next one. It showed me that everything is mind over matter. Everything is mind over matter. So I took that mentality into life. Anytime I felt fearful about facing the unknown, I would just say, hey, whatever happens, I've already been through the worst. Okay. I've already felt like I've experienced near death. Okay. So I can get through anything. And not only am I going to get through it, I'm going to finish in the front. I'm going to finish with flying colors. I'm going to do the absolute best I can, even if it kills me. And in that, I realized I'm unstoppable. There's absolutely nothing I cannot do. So with that, the title of this video is, why do bad things happen to good people? And I want to say that good and bad is subjective. Yeah. And it's all about how you look at a situation. Okay. Yeah. So for instance, Dad, give me something that's considered bad in society, or like frowned upon, or help me think of it.
Let's say just losing, well, I can say for me, just losing everything I had. I mean, just financially, for a dude to be financially like broke, That's like, oh my God, it's major. You know, I'm like nothing right now. Nobody will even want me like right now. You know, I can't buy love. I can't go on the street. Hey, baby, I got $20. Can you help a brother?
Right. And so in that moment, in your darkest, you would consider that your lowest, right? Yes. In that moment, you could say, this is rock bottom, woe is me. Or you can look at it like, hey, only way to go from here is up. I have absolutely nothing else to lose at this point. I'm at rock bottom right now and I'm still alive. I'm experiencing the absolute worst. And then when you look around, it's like, oh, I'm in what I feared. It's not as bad as I thought.
Right. You know, and this is one situation that happened where Shay was like, I was basically, my car was like was going to get repossessed. Okay. I mean, they just had to find me. I was hiding, boy. So I was not where I was supposed to be. My car was not going to be parked at the address that I had on that application. Okay. Right. So, you know, but it was stressful. It was, I mean, man, it was stressful every single day. Just like, I'm looking out the window like, okay, is my car there this morning? You know, so finally one morning I had to park my car at the address that I had. Okay. I woke up one morning, looked out the window, and the car was gone.
Oh, they got you.
They got me.
Got you.
I was like, I'll be damned. But at that point, it was like, it's gone now. And it was a relief.
Pure acceptance, right?
Right. It was a relief at that point.
And how did you see the bright side, or how did you feel like, you know what, hey, this is what it is, I'm gonna make the best of it? Because that's something that Black people are amazing at. We be in survival mode so much, we overcome so much adversity, but when it comes to overcoming adversity to achieve our dreams, it's like we're afraid. But we've been making it work for centuries and decades and overcoming the most adverse situations. And so it's like, if we can make it through that, imagine what we can do if we put our energy toward greatness and actually embodying what they've tried to snuff out of us all these years, because no one tries to oppress someone they're not threatened by. So saying that to say, bringing it back to good and bad, everything is simply agreed upon by society what is good or bad. And I saw JJ, he gave a great example of PDA or kissing in public. And I think, why does that make people uncomfortable? Why is it agreed upon that you shouldn't show love and affection in public? Like,
and that's the craziest thing, because it's like we can watch a movie and watch a person's head being blown off and splattered across the screen, and we'll go, ooh, you know. Yeah. But we can look at somebody making.
Yeah, or somebody can be fighting in the streets and we run with a video camera. You know, we want to see that.
But on that same screen, if you see two people kissing and making love, then it's like, oh no, you know, that's not cool.
Yeah. And so then you ask society, like, why do we agree to things that make absolutely no sense? Okay. And in that question, what is considered good or bad based on your own perception? Everyone has their own perception. So based on how you see a thing is what it will be. Okay. And then in terms of good or bad things happening to you, there are infinite possibilities. Therefore, there are infinite perspectives. And the one you choose to see is the one that will be. Okay. And so bringing it to astrology, I have an example here. Okay. So let's say your North Node is in Libra and your South Node is in Aries. So that means you're used to Aryan qualities, which is a leader, which is standing up for yourself, being an individual, being an independent, being brave, courageous, going after the things that you want. Okay. But your weakness, or where you're uncomfortable, is considering other people's opinions, doing things that maybe don't serve you as much, but serve the group. Okay. So in that, someone who is coming away from Aryan energy may feel very uncomfortable working with people, or getting along with people or considering other people's perspective. But in order to be the leader that they desire to be and be in that position of leadership, they have to learn compromise. They have to understand how to work with people, understand teamwork. Okay. So maybe in the past, when they would work with a team, they may feel stifled, or no one's going to do it as good as I do, or I'm better on my own, or, you know, I can do this better by myself. So it would be uncomfortable being like, okay, yeah, I can do this alone, but the result would be better if I worked with a group. Okay. So the contrast is getting along with others. So where that fear of getting along with others, it's like you have to thrust yourself into situations where teamwork is required. That is how you overcome your fears. That is how you overcome adversity, is by literally thrusting yourself into the situations that you know make you uncomfortable, with the idea that, hey, I'm going to learn. Even if I'm not good at this at first, even if I embarrass myself or it doesn't exactly turn out right, I know this is what I need to do because this is what my guidance is telling me. And I'm gonna throw myself in it and make the best of it, even if it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, okay? and that's usually what stops so many people, is just stepping out of that comfort zone. Because I like to use the analogy of, you know, like a rubber band. You know, so you're uncomfortable, you're stretching, you're growing. And and you can think of yourself as like being a rubber band that's stretching. And when you're stretching a rubber band, there's resistance, you know? So anytime that you're growing, there's gonna be that resistance where you're gonna be like, oh, you know, I don't know if I want to do this, or I don't know if I can handle this, you know, what are people gonna say, you know, all of this stuff.
Exactly.
And it'll take you, and you'll wanna go back into your comfort zone, you know? So that discomfort is the stretching or of you evolving, is what it is.
And then to add on to that, when we are embracing or jumping out of our comfort zone, we still are gonna receive resistance, okay? And people often feel like, well, if this is what spirit is telling me to do, why isn't it just easy? Why can't I just effortlessly flow into that? And that's because, like you said, we grow in contrast. So let's flip that example and say that your south node is in Libra and your north node is in Aries. Okay, so you're someone who always compromising, never stands up for yourself, always wants to do what the group does. Before you even order food, you ask what everybody else is going to order so you can order, you know, something similar. Okay, your challenge is to step out on your own, speak up, use your voice, not care what other people think about you. And in that, your challenges may be, anytime you try to step out, someone be like, girl, what you think you doing? Don't nobody care about what you got to say, or we don't respect your voice, or people might look at you crazy, or try to keep you small, or try to keep you as that non-expanded rubber band. And in that is when bravery and courage is required, to be like, no, I know what I need to do. I know this is who I am. And having that courage to stand in the face of adversity. Okay.
So understanding, so what you're saying is that understanding your north node kind of gives you a preview to what your challenges might be. Would you say that?
Yes, definitely. And insight on how to overcome them, even when you receive pushback. Okay. For example, this is a great example for those of you coming out of Christianity. More than 90% of you have expressed like people criticizing your views, or criticizing your, you know, you questioning God or questioning the Lord. And in that, our natural state is acceptance, or like we want to belong, we want to be in a group. So
we want to conform.
So even though you know their mentality is shrinking versus expansive, you will be challenged to stand alone, okay, despite what those around of you are thinking, saying, being. And often that is when people resort back to their comfort zone, okay, because standing alone is scary, but being a part of a group, you know, is more comfortable in with life.
Let me say this right now. Crystal Turner gave $49.99. Thank you very much, Crystal.
Thank you.
Okay, Voche.
Thank you.
That's family right there. That's family.
Appreciate you. So yeah, so saying that to say, when we are stepping into our North Node, there are the reality that we're stepping away from, the people we're stepping away from, that is the contrast that we have to be brave enough to accept, okay, and see it for what it is and keep moving toward our goal, toward our purpose. And often when I do birth chart readings, people know what they need to do, but each person's challenge comes with jumping or standing alone or facing the unknown. And people often are like, hey, well, yeah, I'm going to quit my job, but I want to save this much money up, or I want to have this lined up, or I want to have this lined up. But that's not how the universe works in terms of pursuing your highest potential. You have to jump out on faith first, and then everything will line up and you'll realize you're falling on a bed of fluffy feathers. Okay?
Yeah, it's like the old saying goes, is that everything you want is on the other side of fear.
Exactly.
You know, that resistance a lot of times is what you have to overcome in order to build a muscle, so to speak, in order to be able to withstand whatever it is that you're moving towards. That resistance is how you got to build your muscle. So your spiritual muscle, I guess, you can look at it in that way.
I love that, because that's I like to call it like spirit tests us to see if we really about what we talking about, if we really want what we say we want, and if we're willing to do what it takes to get there, because it's not just going to be handed to us. We have to do the legwork. And often people think the legwork is physical or putting a business plan into. And I'm telling you, it's psychological first. Everything is psychological first.
It's mental.
Yes. And so oftentimes when people come to me and they're like, yeah, I want to do this, or I'm applying for this job, but you know, things just aren't panning out. It's just not working. And they're trying to force things in one direction. And they wonder, why isn't this working out for me? And it's because spirit is trying to lead you. It's slapping that out of your hand so it can lead you towards what's really meant for you. But often that's the thing that scares us. So we try to force what's in our comfort zone. So much so before spirit, it's like we're in a state of stagnation for too long and things can't stay stagnant. So you're going to be propelled either by choice or by force toward the direction of your expansion.
And I can say from personal experience, you know, when I decided that I was going to quit school teaching and start developing KCL, you know, it was, trust me, when I say I lost everything 2 times, okay? And now I'm faced with the possibility of a 3rd time. Do you think I was a little bit uncomfortable? And I had to ask for guidance, and the guidance was, hey, it's basically it's time. And you know, at that point I said, you know, I'm going to follow whatever my guys say, whatever spirit says, I'm going to follow it. Yep. And then when it came time and they said, you know, basically gave me the signal that it was time to go, I had to put up or shut up. Yeah. It was uncomfortable as hell. I had to call my principal and say, hey, I'm quitting, you know, and I only had 1 month's worth of savings in the bank at that point. Okay. So in a month, if things didn't work out, guess what? I was going to be homeless. I needed to be looking for a little monkey that could play that little thing so I could get some coins every now and then. That was the pictures that were in my mind, you know? Yeah. But I had to jump over that chasm. I had to move through that fear and just trust. And what's that exercise Voche where you fall back into somebody's arms or whatever? Trust fall. Yeah. That's literally how I had to do. You know, I had to fall back and just trust the spirit was telling me. And let me say, Zuri gave $19.99. Thank you, Zuri. And Michael Peaks gave $20. Thank you very much. See, that's family again. Thank y'all, family. We definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And Daddy, just to piggyback off that, the same thing happened for me. You know, when I quit my job when I was working for JB Hunt 4 years ago now, I remember I decided I was going to move to Europe. And, you know, my original plan was to not come back to the States, you know.
Yeah, I remember.
But I also, not only did I want to travel, I was also aware of the fact that I equated my self-worth with the dollar amount that I had in my bank account. And society teaches us to save and save and invest and save. And, if you're not managing your money right, then, you're basically invalid. You're not a responsible adult. You're not doing
you're morally
it right.
corrupt, basically.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And so when I told people that I would be taking not only a humongous pay cut, but that this program, I decided to go be an auxiliaris, which was basically, I was the fun English teacher that showed them cool dances and anyways, made English learning fun. This program only lasted for 1 year, okay? And I would tell the people at my job, yeah, I'm moving. Yeah, I'm going to Spain. It's going to be a year. And they're like, immediately everyone starts projecting their fears onto you. When you say you're going to do something outside the box and you start talking about things that other people don't feel like they're capable of, they immediately start projecting their fears onto me. And they were like, well, what are you going to do after? What are you going to do? What's going to happen after that? They're already thinking a year ahead. And I'm like, I don't know. And you know how scary it was for me to admit that, but also be like, I'm still going to do it. I was like, I have no idea what's going to happen after this year. Okay.
And that goes against how people perceive us. If we're being perceived as in some negative way, like, what, you don't have a plan? Yeah. What the hell is wrong with you?
You're irresponsible. You're silly. You're a dreamer. It's extremely unreasonable. It's like you're supposed to have everything planned out. But imagine if you have everything planned out and you know what your day is going to look like for 20 years in a row. There's no growth in that. Oh my gosh. And that's what catalyzed me to go ahead and do it. I will never forget this man to the day that I die. His name was Mr. Ricky. And I was a supervisor at a trucking company. So I doubled as a psychologist because, people like to talk. So Mr. Ricky would come in, and this man was going through a divorce. He had grown kids that never talked to him. And he said to me, Voche, I've been driving trucks for 20 years and I have nothing to show for my life other than paid bills and supported people. And he was 65 sitting in front of me. Completely dissatisfied with his life. He couldn't retire. He had no pension plan set up. His health was deteriorating. And all he knew was he had family to take care of and had nothing else to show for his life.
Wow.
That to me,
that's just
like
existence.
Hell. That was hell to me. Hell was staring me dead in my face. Yeah. And I was like, I don't care what's on the other end of this unknown. I know I don't want that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And no, so I had something like that happen too.
Yeah. I was willing to do whatever it takes to get to where I wanted to be, to achieve. And I didn't even know. All I knew was that I wanted to help people. That's all I knew was that I wanted to help people.
Right,
and I trusted that spirit would put me in the position to be able to fulfill my heart's desire.
Ruben gave $20. Thank you, Ruben. And Anthony Johnson gave $13.33. Thank you, Anthony. And Russell gave $49.99. Thank y'all very much. Appreciate y'all's generosity.
Guys. Appreciate you most definitely. Thank you. And so, saying that to say, I could have easily forced myself to want to climb the corporate ladder and be really good at whatever it was I was doing. I was good at my job just because, if my name's on it, I have to be good at it. But I had no passion. I was literally just collecting a check. Okay. I would go to work, go work out, come home and repeat. I was literally just pressing the repeat button. It's like, yeah, I have paid bills, but I'm not living. I'm not doing any of the things I enjoy. I don't even have time to do the things that I enjoy because I'm in this loop of just paying bills. Okay. So I was like, well, to get out of this loop, I got to be willing to do what I'm afraid of. Okay.
Right.
So,
right.
Saying that to say, I went from forcing to allowing. Okay. I knew what I wanted to do. I thrust myself into that position. Trust falled. And when I tell you guys, everything lined up. Like, I didn't even know where I was going to live when I moved to Spain. All I knew was that I had a job. And I trusted that everything would work out perfectly. And I just kept saying that, even in my fear, even in my doubt, even in my uncertainty, I was like, look, Spirit, if this is what you're telling me to do, then I expect you to come through for me. I expect everything to work out. Okay, I'm jumping. You told me to jump. I'm finna jump. You better catch me.
That's right. Hey, but my conversation was, God damn it, if I jump, y'all better catch me. Y'all not gonna play with me like this. Y'all better line up some shit for me or else. That was my conversation.
Don't play, for real, for real. And when I tell you they delivered every single time. Now, I did have to live on very, very little. When I tell you guys, I lived on $700 a month and my rent was $500. So I had $200 for groceries, you know, fun activities, leisure. Okay. And in that, I could have been like, woe is me, and, you know, be fearful and try to find all these other jobs and, you know, supplement my income. But I was like, look, I didn't come over here to work. That's not what I came here to do. And if I try to scramble and find all these jobs, I'm going against my vow to Spirit, which was to trust that I would be taken care of.
Yeah.
Okay. So in doing that, not only did I overcome my fear of financial instability, but I also realized by living on very little, I didn't need very much at all. It's like, and then I adopted the concept of minimalism, which was, you know, only living off what I need, not having excess, not, you know, needing to buy or find security in material things, which society also teaches us. And in doing so, it gave me the confidence, like, hey, this really isn't that bad. Like, I really don't need that much. And in that, so even with me getting comfortable with that, right? The person who I rented the room from, she was renting, okay, but she had a boyfriend in town, and so, you know, she wasn't really using her apartment, so she was renting it out. Okay, so I had this really cute, very nice Spanish apartment all to myself until she got evicted. Okay, she got into it with her landlord. And so, therefore, so then I'm on my ass. I ain't even do nothing. But in that situation, I could have panicked and be like, hey, I'm in this foreign country. I don't have no family, no friends here, and I'm finna be homeless. Okay. That's a reality check, right? But instead of panicking, I was like, Spirit, y'all said y'all was gonna take care of me. Make it happen. And when I tell you, in
other words, you set the expectation something's gonna happen.
Something's gonna happen. Good. I was like, I'm not even gonna worry. I said, up until this point, I have been taken care of. Up until this point, everything I've desired, everything I've wanted to manifest, everything I needed has presented itself to me. Why should I believe any different in this moment, in this situation right now? Right? Yes. So within that, a couple months earlier, one of my students, her mom was a shoe designer. She made, they're called espadrillas, which are these traditional Ibicencan shoes that are often handmade. Okay, she was a craftsman and she made them, but she needed a model.
Let me do some housework here right quick. So Andrea Jenkins and Brenda Shambliss gave Andrea Jenkins gave $30 via Cash App, and Brenda Shambliss gave $50. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
All right.
So with that, like I was saying, my student's mother needed a shoe model. Okay. And my sweet student, she told me, she's like, oh, mommy, my teacher, you should, you know, be my teacher, blah, blah, blah. And in meeting her, y'all know those instances where, you know, I've met you before. I know you. My soul recognizes you. When I tell you, me and this woman, she's a Spanish woman, okay, only spoke Spanish. I met her and we clicked instantly. This woman invited me over to her house, dinner, modeling, et cetera, et cetera. And this is 2 months before I got evicted, okay? So fast forward to when I got evicted, or the lady got evicted. This woman went through a very painful divorce. She found out her husband was cheating on her with a woman at work, okay? And he left her with 3 kids, just up and left. It's like, I'm out, F it. She was so distraught in this transformational time in her life that she was like, please come live with me. I don't want to be alone. Can you please please come live with me. You don't even have to do anything. I just want you here. I just want your presence here. So in that, I still had a month cushion before I had to be out of my apartment, but she was literally rushing me. She was like, no, I want you to come live with me now. Come live with me now.
Wow.
Yes. I didn't have to pay
Spirit
rent.
came through.
Yes. And not only did it come through, I got to pocket all that money. She would not accept any money from me. And not only that, yes. And so Ibiza is an island, right? And when I got on the island, I was like, universe, I need a friend with a boat. I'm not going to buy a boat. I'm not going to rent a boat. I said, universe, bring me a friend with a boat. Guess who had a boat?
Did she have one?
Yes, she had a boat.
Wow.
Okay, so not only am I living with her in this beautiful mansion, she had this big, beautiful house in the mountains, in the hills. She got a boat. So we was on this boat every other weekend. I'm living my best Ibiza life. Like, I'm rich. Okay. So when I tell you spirit came through, and people always people think that they have to have it figured out, or that they have to know how things are going to pan out, or they try to plan everything for themselves. But when you just surrender and allow for magic, like I said in the beginning of this video, there are infinite possibilities in the universe.
Yeah.
Why focus on one? Why fixate on one? Instead, you can be open to the infinite. Universe, bring me the best, most magical, most funnest possibility that I can't even imagine.
And you know, Voche, the interesting thing is, like, when we're Christian, it's like you always hear this idea, God is in control, you know, but we live in some of the most fearful states when we say that God is in control. Does that mean that we don't trust that God is going to take care of us? Because that's ultimately what it is. Because if you're in fear like that, and you're saying God is in control, you don't even trust God at that point. And you can't, because you don't know if God is, from a Christian perspective, if God is punishing you or not.
Right.
You always have that doubt in your mind.
As if you're at the mercy of something outside of you.
Yes, that you have no control over whatsoever. You don't know if you made some transgression that God is about to punish you for. And there's always that doubt that's just lingering back there. When you're manifesting and when you're going through that contrast and you're trying to break through it, you cannot have doubt, because that doubt becomes resistance.
Yep. So
and our housework right quick. So April Ross gave 2222. Thank you, April. And says, God damn it, if I jump, you better catch me.
Catch me.
All right. And Martha Harris gave $20. That's family again. So Martha and April is family again. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right. But yeah, but like I was saying, it's just when you have that, when you are dealing with that contrast, you have to have expectant faith.
Yes.
And you, in other words, we're taught in Christianity, we're taught faith as something that you just supposed to believe something. In other words, you don't question it, you just believe it. But that's not faith, that's mind control.
Right.
So in the Kemetic spirituality sense, faith is the idea that it's like a bridge from where you are to what you want, or to what you desire.
Yes.
And you have to expect that you're going to be able to cross that bridge.
Right.
You know?
So
and that's what you were doing when you were saying, you know, my guys, universe, you're going to take care of me. You're going to take care. You are putting it out there and you're expecting it. Not only that, you're demanding that it happen.
Yeah. So instead of being like, why is this happening to me? I was like, oh, something better must be coming. If y'all taking this away from me, I'm about to be upgraded, you know?
Because when you found out that you were going to get evicted, it would have been easy for you to say, oh my God, I'm here all alone. I had no family. I'm getting ready to be homeless. You focused on all the negative stuff. Yeah. You could have did that. But you didn't.
Nope. I was like, oh, this must be happening for my highest good. If I know I've listened to spirit up until this point, I followed the instructions. I've been, training my mind. I've been doing the work. I know they're going to come through for me. I know myself, my higher self would never send me down here and set me up for failure.
Yes.
Never. If I know me, even Voche on earth is here to win, is here to get everything she came for. So I know my higher self on the same page. I know we on the same page. Help me out. Show me the way. Okay. Like
show me the way. Yes. And none of that doubt of like, you know, oh, okay, well, you know, am I supposed to get this? Or, you know, does God really want me to have this? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have it.
Yeah. I appreciate
You're supposed to, if you thought it up and you had it in your mind, then you can get it. Plain and simple. But you have to expect that it's going to happen. Yeah. And anytime you have doubts, you just gave resistance. And you can't cross that bridge of faith with doubt.
Right.
You cannot do it.
Under pressure.
That doubt is like a rubber band. It's going to pull you back every single time.
Yep. And that's what happens to people when they face a little adversity. They retreat back into their comfort zone. But in those moments, even in basketball, that's what they tell us. When it hurts, go harder, push harder. And that's when you are breaking that mold. You're hitting another level to where you don't even have to backtrack anymore, because you push past that level of pain in the sense that it doesn't hurt anymore. That doesn't scare you anymore because you've conquered it. But if you keep backing up anytime you face that adversity, that fear is going to keep conquering you. It's going to keep controlling you.
Yeah.
So choosing growth over comfort, choosing your growth over comfort, and psychologically being like, bring it the fuck on. Okay. Like whatever, I can get through this, and I'm guided. I have people, you know, letting me know what the next step is. And for me, as someone who has chosen an unconventional path, okay, a very unconventional path, and people, you know, constantly asking me, you know, right, what's your plan? What's next? And I really genuinely be like, I don't know. I'm following the steps. This is what I'm doing right now. This is what's in front of me right now.
I don't know, and having fun like having a whole lot of fun.
You know? And then it also took me realizing that in life, nothing is ever going to be perfect. You're never going to be to a point where you're completely satisfied with everything going on around you. Okay, there's always going to be some challenge to overcome. So if there's always going to be a challenge, then what's really meant for me to overcome is my mind, my mentality, the way that I look at it. Okay.
Yes.
So saying that to say, your mind and your perspective is what will bring you through contrast. Okay. And that is how you turn contrast into power. And honestly, fear can be a very motivating factor. So if you are afraid, move toward it. Okay. I remember I used to have this very irrational fear of birds. Okay. And I remember when I moved to Australia, this was my first international trip, my first time, you know, fresh out of college, being like, look, I'm about to jump over here across the sea. My plan was to go as far away as possible and then work my way in. Okay. So to me, Australia was as far as possible. In Australia, if you've ever been, they have these birds called magpies that swoop 8 weeks out of the year. There's these huge black birds with these long, sharp beaks that swoop to protect their nest 8 weeks out of the year. And they've been known to take out eyes, you know, cause scarring, like really draw blood. Okay. And in my route to drop my kids off, because I was an au pair, I had to walk 3 miles there, 3 miles back, and I had to pass 2 magpie trees. Now, you know they're magpie trees because they're labeled, right? Lo and behold, one day I get attacked by one. One swoops me, okay, and took off my headband that I had. Mind you, I ran. You know, I'm pretty fast. I got a really long stride. So I was out of there. But in surviving that, I was like, oh, okay. All right, that wasn't that bad. And so in that, anytime I saw a magpie, I wouldn't run. I would face it, or, you know, let it know I'm not afraid. And when I tell you I never got attacked again, no bird ever attacked me again. But in that, I realized that my fear of birds was also, you know, my fear of freedom, you know, fear of, you know, really jumping out there and being free of any ties, you know, physically, mentally, emotionally. And so through overcoming my fear of birds, I also overcame my fear of freedom. So
you're saying symbolically the birds represented your fear of just letting go, in a sense.
Letting go.
Just flying. Yeah.
So I was trust falling, but it wasn't easy yet. It was still very uncomfortable. There was still a lot of fear. Now, even though I was acting in spite of the fear, I wanted to get to the point where it was just easy, where I could just be like, oh, okay, this adversity, but it'll be all right. I'll get through it, you know. Or
And B Gaines gave $9.99 and said, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. And I love that Courtney says sometimes you got to go through to get through, and that's exactly it.
Yeah,
most definitely.
You do.
JJ said Voche was gone. You better believe it. I turned the jets on.
She was looking like
thing. And I don't know, y'all don't know how tall I am, but I'm 6'1", okay? And my skill in basketball was running the floor. So just saying that to say I was out of there.
Those basketball lessons came handy then.
Look, turned the jets on. Okay.
Right. For real.
But yeah, so I'm looking at my notes. Hold on.
Yeah, we'll just see if anybody had questions here too. So coming up.
Okay, yeah. Open the forum for questions.
So y'all got questions or comments? Bring them. So we here, we ready. So but that so the whole idea is that contrast is a part of this reality. It's just, you cannot even experience this reality without contrast. You think of it as, and I like to use the analogy of, you have to, in order to have an experience, you have to have two poles. So in order to clap, I have to have these two sides, always. Thinking that you're just going to go through life without contrast, that you're never going to have anything, because a lot of people think that once they reach a certain spiritual level, that they're not supposed to have contrast, that it's just going to fall away. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't do that. You know, it's like trying to clap with one hand. It's impossible. It cannot exist. Life cannot exist without contrast. You cannot experience without contrast. And like I gave in the beginning, you have to have hot in order to understand what cold is. You got to have day to understand what night is. You know, so contrast is just a part of this universe and a part of our experience, always. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree with that. And if you shift your perspective to ask yourself, how is this contrast working for me instead of against me? You will empower yourself. You will overcome it. You will transform. Okay, because that is what transformation is, and how that manifests in our birth chart is via Pluto. Wherever Pluto is placed shows us where we have to push ourselves out of our comfort zone and constantly psychologically transform ourselves and our perspective on things. Okay. But Dulce Maria had a great question. Go ahead, Dad.
Okay, go ahead.
She asked me if I could explain. I think she said North Node in Pisces. Let me see. Hold on. North Node. And
let me. Cannabis Maximus gave 11 and says, "Evolve. Thank you for being you and sharing that. Bless up." So thank you, Cannabis Maximus.
Okay, so I believe she said North Node in Pisces and South Node in Virgo. Okay, so if you have your South Node in Virgo, this means you are someone who is used to planning, someone who is used to taking steps on a daily basis that get you closer to your goals, someone who analyzes and understands the mechanics of a thing, a situation, and knows exactly how to carry out a plan of action in order to be most efficient, and in some ways a perfectionist. Okay, that's your South Node. If you have your North Node in Pisces, Pisces being the abstract sign, being the spiritual sign, it being the sign that does not have any specific aim or direction other than to experiences, okay? If you have your North Node in Pisces, you are simply here learning how to just experience, to do away with your plan, do away with meticulous and monotonous planning, and just flow. Smell the flowers, observe everything that's around you, and be guided based on intuition and inkling. And, oh, I feel like doing this today, or oh, I feel like doing this today, instead of this is what I need to get done, this is what I need to do, this is what's on my to-do list, boom, boom, boom. You are learning to be like, okay, yeah, I do have a to-do list, but I'm going to do it in a way that, in the order that I feel guided. And if I get to everything, I do. If I don't, so be it. You know, I got to what I was meant to get to today.
Okay.
Pisces, node in Pisces is being in a constant state of acceptance of what is versus trying to force what you think should be. Okay.
Awesome. Awesome.
So that would be an example of North Node.
Robert Johnson gave $9.99. He asked a question. He says, I love this space. How do we learn where our North Node is? So
if you want to read your birth chart yourself, you would have to go on a birth chart calculator. The one I prefer to use is Astrology, okay, and type in your birth chart information. And in your birth chart, the North Node looks like a horseshoe with a T in the center of it, okay? So that's what let me see, can I give y'all a quick sketch real quick? Hold on. Show y'all what the North Node looked like.
And Alpha Film gave €3. Thank you, Alpha Film. Thank you very much.
So if y'all can see that there, your North Node will look like that in your chart. And it's a very
That's a symbol for it.
Yeah, that's the symbol for your North Node. Okay.
And it'll be a small little symbol. It won't be something big.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in other words, if you pull your birth chart, so if you do go and get a birth chart, that's what you're going to look for. You're going to look for the North Node is going to be in a specific house, right, Voche?
Yes, it's going to be in a specific house, and whatever house it's in will also emphasize the lessons or the contrast that you will have to face. So for instance,
give an example on that.
Right. Right. So if let's use we're going to stay with the Virgo Pisces. So say if your South Node was in the 12th house in Virgo and your North Node is in the 6th house in Pisces. Okay. The 6th house.
Let's just stick with the North Node. So tell us what the North Node is.
Okay. Once again, with it being in the 6th house, the 6th house is responsible for our daily routine, for our health, for producing something on a daily basis, or giving our attention or energy to something on a daily basis. So if you have your North Node in Pisces in the 6th house, this means that in some way you need to be doing something spiritual, have a spiritual routine on a daily basis, or in the past where you may have had, a wake up routine where it's like, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I do this, this, and this. If you have your North Node in Pisces, you just wake up without an alarm whenever you feel, and whatever inkling comes to your mind, to do first, act on that. And then wherever you feel guided to after that, do that. So the contrast that may come with that is your need to plan, okay? Overriding your need to plan and be meticulous and rewiring your mind in terms of what productivity looks like, okay? Which is definitely something I had to do because I have Neptune in the 6th house, which is very similar to having Pisces.
So let me ask this. And so with that Pisces, so you're saying that they're trying to learn to get in the flow, and like you normally have the structure. So let's say that you got a job, okay? Mm-hmm. And you're like, struggling with working on a job because you want to be in that flow.
Right.
So something that the contrast that you have to overcome at that point might be to find something that you can be free of a job where you don't have to use an alarm clock.
Right. Yes. And creating a life of freedom in which you can just go out on a whim and do what you want to do. So that may go against societal constructs of having a 9-to-5, working diligently, being productive on a daily basis. If you're supposed to be an artist, okay, artists, we channel our creativity by being in our own natural flow. If you're trying to hammer in a routine, that's counterproductive to creativity. So one of your challenges may be to quit your job and full-fledged go into the realm of creativity, okay? And creativity is full of the unknown. You don't know when it's going to come, but you have to be in that state of acceptance and therefore lack of resistance in order to channel your Pisces North Node, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Cool. I know I saw a couple of questions up here earlier. Chica A says, can you give some examples of North Nodes by the year or generation? For example, 1991 would be Capricorn. I'm not sure. Maybe Voche, you know what that means? I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah. The nodes of the moon change, I want to say within a year and a half to 2 years, roughly. So if you have North Node in Capricorn, then that means you are learning how to build something steadily, okay? Because Capricorn is a sign of mastery. So you're learning how to provide for yourself, whereas South Node, the opposite, Cancer, wants to nurture, is in the realm of feelings. Capricorn is in the realm of business, productivity, starting a business and working and allowing yourself to build something gradually. Okay, so your challenges may be to stick with something, or feeling like you should be in a certain place already and not having patience. Okay, your challenge may be patience because it has to unfold and develop. Okay, other challenges may be you working for someone and having riffs and tiffs with your boss because you subconsciously know that you're meant to be the boss. You're supposed to be running the show. So you may have problems with authority or other people telling you what to do because you're meant to be building something on your own. Okay. Other challenges with that may be overcoming codependency, okay, and feeling like, you need someone to come save you. You're learning how to be your own savior, your own master, and learning how to stand on your own 2 feet and produce, okay? So that would be an example of North Node in Capricorn.
Okay, I was giving your website here, Voche, vovibes.com. So www.vovibes.com.
Thank you.
So that's where you can go to get a reading from her, so vovibes.com.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I'm looking back up here for questions. So yeah. So I want to make sure people understood we were saying North Node, as in Node. So North Node is what we're talking about. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so let's recap again one more time. What the North Node, what we're talking about here is basically understanding what your lessons for this life would be. Mm-hmm. So in other words, what your hardships might be, the things that you might need to overcome in order to learn the lessons that you came here to learn. Yes. So in a big way, this is definitely, and we call our birth charts a cheat sheet, basically a cheat sheet for life. And this here could be very, very helpful for a person that is not sure, why they're having the hardships, or not sure what their major lessons are in life. So understanding your North Node will help you with that.
Yeah.
What's that now?
Or why they're experiencing the same themes and patterns over and over, or why they're trying to make something work and it's not working. Probably look at your North Node and see if you are moving in alignment with that or in opposition and resistance to that. And that will determine, your progress or how you can recalibrate, for sure.
Okay. Awesome. Let's see, we got any other questions here? Let's see, Vote Vibes, did you say the website you prefer to use for birth chart was Astro, what was that birth chart?
Or here, I'll just put it, Astro.
Okay, thank you.
Boom. There it is.
Okay, so astro.com.
Yes.
Okay. Astro.com.
Yeah. And thank you, NU Energy. I greatly appreciate you. I always remember your face. I see your sweet face in my head right now, but your name is like, it's gone. But I feel you. I love you, and I appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome, Courtney SLP. So she says, thank you both. So thank y'all for being here for sure.
Yes,
let's see, Alpha Film. And Alpha Film says that was telling me that there was British pounds sterlings, not euros. So thank you for letting me know that. So educate me, please. Let's see. So Alpha Film says, is true node the same as North node?
Yes. Yeah. That would be another
same thing. Mm-hmm. Same thing. Okay. Very good question. Yes, very good question.
Definitely.
Okay. Let's see. Now to get a reading from Voche, so it's vovibes.com. If you want to get a birth chart, that's astro.com. Okay.
Yeah. And just so you know, if you sign up for a reading, I'm already scheduling for the 3rd week of November, and my readings are first come, first serve. So if you don't want to wait a whole month, you know, don't wait a whole month.
Right. Absolutely. So, okay, let's see. So we want to align ourselves with our North Node. Yeah, explain that. So that was Sharif X. Says, so we want to align ourselves with our North Node, and what does that mean? So I know you've mentioned that a little bit. So
yeah. So we want to embody the characteristics of our North Node and push ourselves out of our comfort zone until we kind of get more familiar with our North Node, but we're not meant to just like completely disown our South Node. We have to find balance. So we want to integrate the lessons we've learned with our South Node and integrate the lessons that we're learning in this life with our North Node, and those together, putting that puzzle piece together and creating balance on the axis creates fulfillment, essentially.
Okay. And Greg Scott gave $2 and said, "Bless up, y'all. Vibrations percolating." Thank you very much, Greg Scott. Appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. So every little bit helps, guys. So whether it's a big gift or a small, we appreciate it. So thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Okay. So my true node is in Virgo. What does that mean?
Okay. North Node in Virgo. This is, now I would have to know what house it's in as well, but off top, North Node in Virgo is learning how to be of service by taking efficient steps toward self-healing, self-actualization, and therefore showing others how they can take those similar steps. Okay, so whatever our challenge is what we are here to teach or help others accomplish. We've done it.
Yes. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that one of the gifts that they can give to humanity is when they do overcome whatever their challenges are, is that they can reach back and help others do the same thing, you know? Right. So that's definitely something that I'm doing, you know, and Voche, I know that that's something that you're doing, you know? Well, the challenges that you overcome, your gift to humanity is that you help someone else overcome that as well.
Each one teach one.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So excellent. All right. Okay, we're coming up at a little bit over an hour here, guys. So we're going to start wrapping it up. Want to thank everybody that gave and everybody that's been here tonight. We hope we've been getting a lot of good feedback. So thank y'all for that very much as well. And Voche, thank you so much for your wisdom and your knowledge. It is incredible. I am so proud that this is my daughter. So she's not only my daughter, she's good at what she does, guys, because I'm not one of those people that's be like, you know, y'all do this for my daughter now, because if she messing stuff up, I'm be like, hell no, I can't sign off on that.
Yeah. He owe me. Thank you so much, Daddy. I love you so much. I appreciate you allowing me on your platform, and you know I'm proud of you and always sending you love and cheering you on. I'm glad I get to do it face to face this time versus in the what's that thing? The chat.
In the chat. Yeah. Most definitely. So thank you very much. All right, guys. Well, we're going to shut it down. And again, y'all have a good night, and thank y'all so very much. Okay. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
Love you all. Thank you, moderators. Everyone take care.
Yes. Dark Goddess, love JJ, Ra the Creator, Fort Law. I saw also, I saw, who was that in there was earlier? Saw that name. I'm sorry, I saw you in there. But all you moderators, I thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, and I want to ask, Mama Gigi, did you send me a friend request? Because I thought we were already friends on Facebook. So let me know that. If you could just put it up in the room, in the Facebook room, let me know that. So because I didn't want to, you know how these people be sending that stuff. But anyway, thank you guys. Y'all have a good night. All right.
Bye.